Good evening, people. What's my van doing over there? Oh, I had to move it this afternoon so I could get the roof waterproofed. Well, not waterproof, but sealed. Seeing that I've got a concrete tile roof. So the young woman came along and did that for me today. Clambered around on the roof. Something I don't want to do, and I don't have the chemicals to do it anyway. Right, what I'm going to do now is unplug the charger. That's what I came out to do actually, but I dragged you out with me. But what I've got to do tomorrow is I'm going to fix the fences, the custom wood part, to the aluminium rail there. At the moment, absolutely rock solid, and I'm going to make a little slot so that I can move the rail, the fence rather, backwards and forwards a little bit. Doesn't have to be much, it's just there so I can zero out the end of the board or the fence up against the teeth, and then just give it a bit of a trim. So I've got some adjustability there. I'm just going to be using these flat-headed bolts, the wafer head, and I'm going to have to recess it in that amount. So it's going to be a double process, and I'm going to be using my router. Hey, in its routing form, not the dimensioning setup that I've got down there. So this does actually work, and this has been a wee bit of a process to get to this stage. Don't know whether I've put many videos up about it. That's an interesting thought. But what I'm going to do is set this router up. It's an 8mm thereabouts router that will allow comfortably for this to fit through, hopefully. And I'm going to do some stop cuts where I lower the board onto the router bit and then run it in the mount, or the mount that I need to go left and right. Like all clever people, I watched other people doing this sort of job and copied them. And the way I'm going to be doing it, once this is pushed up against the fence, I've got a mark there from the end of my board. I'll plunge it down, holding securely the board, and then move it along until the board gets to this point, and I'm done. And I'll probably have to do it repeatedly so I can, slowly come through the board rather than doing it in one go. Do the same down this end. I push it up against the fence. I line it up with my pencil mark here, move it along, and I've got a 50mm long slot in it. I then swap out the router bit. Don't move the fence, just swap out the router bit for a larger 16mm diameter router. Do the same thing, and that way I get a recess for the head to go into. Do that on both of them, just the one setup as far as the marks go. And dropping my bolt. And I can just plunge cut the holes for the fence, and do the left and right fence, and then I'm hopefully done. I can then go back to that part, the aluminium, and figure out where the heck I'm going to put my bolt, and then drill a hole and tap it so it can take the thread, and I should be done. The aluminium hopefully is thick enough, so it'd be robust enough for me to lock off the bolt, and everyone's happy. If it's not, I'll regroup. In fact, what I'll probably wind up doing is putting now, I don't know what I'm going to do if that doesn't work. I was contemplating putting a bolt through from the far side and coming in, but yeah, it might be a bit tricky at the moment. Yeah, it's doable. I just don't want to do it, and that's why it's tricky. I make the story better for my own sake. I've got the 16mm bit there. It really should be cleaned, but I don't know really Well, I might have a look at that. Anyway, that's it. I have unplugged the charger because we don't want to leave that on overnight. Moved all the stuff off of the router sufficient that I can do the job. Well, that's the Franken lift. I've got a Franken saw. I've got a lot of Franken constructions, but that's my Franken router. It's not finished yet, but it's able to lift up and down. It's quite well, actually, with some fidelity, believe it or not. On top here is an Allen key headed bolt, and one over here which will be under the fence at the moment, which is why it is a little bit of a nuisance. But by winding that, this lifts, every full rotation lifts this edge 2 millimeters. So 1/2, because it's a 16mm by 2mm pitch thread. So one full rotation lifts this point here 2 millimeters, or the router 1 millimeter. If I do both at the same time, which is my preference, I can 1/2 rotation of both of them lifts the router up dead flat 1 millimeter. Now, I know I've said I can just do it on this side, but if I kept on doing that too much, it tilts the bar that the router is sitting on too much. And the idea being is that I, for the most part, lift the router up and down evenly on each side, but where I have to, I can lift this up quite a bit, actually, just on one side. It really deserves a full video just on that, but it works, and it's safe, and it's basically free, but it's not as refined as some of these U-Butte ones that you see. But for the 1/2-inch router, it's a big puppy. It's adequate. Yes, you've got to reach underneath to turn it on and off, sort of, until I get to this point where I can put in a proper on-off switch. That means I can bypass the need to reach underneath. I don't have to reach underneath to change the router bit, because it will. I can actually reach in once it's wound all the way up. I can take the bits out there. So all in all, not a bad old router lift. And as I went to say, it saves me having to pay the not inconsiderable amount for a router lift for this situation. I was going to get one. I priced one up, a decent, but in New Zealand we don't have many of the large 2400 watt, or the, was it 3.25 horsepower, whatever it is, routers which have the round bodies. In America and in Europe, I think yous do. So lucky you, but in New Zealand, not so much. Are they available? Yes. Are they easily available? No. Or readily available. In fact, I'll go as far as to say, in all of my journeying around life, I've not seen them being sold in the general merchants outlets. So that someone can prove me wrong, I'm happy for that to be the case, but I'm just saying that the large 1/2-inch, large capacity or capability routers, and for round body, not so much. However, there is one place, Carbotech, here in Christchurch, that does sell them. They sell just the spindle, and that costs $800, $900, something in that vicinity, and the router lift, well, probably $1,400. So for I think it's something like, it might be a bit cheaper than that, but for around about $2,000, you too can get a router lift and router set up. And I'm going, $2,000 versus free. Which one? No question. And then I thought about putting a Triton router in here, which you can fudge it and create, and that is kind of designed around that as well. That it has its own router lift. Not really, but yes, it does. And then James Hamilton there a month or so ago said, I think it was James Hamilton, could be, said that Triton is going out of business. The company that owns it is no longer making it, and therefore it's likely to become a defunct company and therefore product. So I'm thinking, darn, because that was an option. Even it wasn't a cheap option, but this one might have to do for a wee while longer. I might get a router lift for the small trim router. They're not the cheapest thing in the world, but it is just a little bit more capable than that, although I have made some comment. I'm just reaching down for that bolt. I have made comment about this wee router lift, that with a few, being aware of some of its potential weaknesses, we can get around it, and I have. So it's actually not a bad router. So, yeah, there's that. But this one is going to have to stay for a wee while longer, I think. I'd love to have one of those bigger router setups in here just for its elegance and efficiency. But until I can swing my brain around the fact that it costs $2,000 for it, I'm going, I think I'll put up with this. And it's worth a video or two. Okie dokie, that's it. Messy workbench. Had to move stuff. The other day, this afternoon, I made comment that this little gizmo, which goes on the fence like this for cutting these, which did a really good job. I wanted to be able to tune the stop itself for the slight imperfections or inability to gauge the timber down to the exact measurement I want. And I could accommodate that, because that alters the size that the half lap is going to be necessary to be created to. So I said in my logic that wouldn't it be good to have the pin, this thing, altered in diameter to accommodate some of those intolerances. So what I have done is that one there was 3 millimeters, plus or minus a couple of hundredths of a millimeter. This one is a 2.85. That was the size I thought I needed. This was another 3. It's just a nail. And this one turned out to be 2.65, which I've annotated as saying saw kerf, because that 2.65 fits in the saw kerf neatly. So that's closer to what I probably need. I will also continue to investigate ones that are possibly 2.5 millimeters, so that I can, at the drop of a hat, choose which pin to use to make the fit better. It's not much difference. 0.2 of a mil there, it's only 0.15 of a mil there, but going, either way allows for those situations or circumstances where you don't get your milling 100% correct. And that's what I noticed on that, because the timber wasn't exactly the measurement I wanted and will need. Now that I've got a thickness of planer, I should be able to sneak up on the accuracy sides of things a little bit better than I have done in the past. But it did seem to make sense that tuning your fit via the size of the pin is a really simple, cheap, elegant way of doing it. So, yeah. What do you say? Is that a good idea? Is that worth copying? This is the Sketchy Builder gauge block idea. Yeah, you go with it. Put your name on it if you want. But, yeah, there you go. Another good idea, I think. Has it been done before? No. I'm the very first person ever in the world, in the Milky Way universe, whatever. Well, no, it's a galaxy, isn't it? That's ever thought of this. Yeah. probably not. But you have seen people getting little bits of, say, aluminium sheet and sanding them down to fit. And that was the kernel of the idea. I'm thinking, if they're doing that for a particular reason, why can't I do it for like this to achieve my end result that I think might benefit me? Rightio, absolutely full of it. I mean, good ideas here. This pin here is a different size again, or nail. So I might make another couple of little blocks like this. These are just offcuts or something. And yeah, I'll take credit if you want to give it to me. And if not, I can't do anything about it anyway, can I? Rightio, that's it. Cup of tea is cooling, and I'm watching another TV program on the PC, of course. Rightio, see you later now. Bye.